saw the first game, which was single high safety and so much of them showing Patrick Mahomes before the snap what they do. Listen, football is a game of ego. You know, it's a game of confidence. They got humbled, right? It's humbling when a dude goes for 2 bills and he's throwing you the deuce and backflipping into the end zone. Todd Bowles changed all of those things. He went back, he looked at his team, and he said he was going to do something different, and that's how they won the game.
And if we see there are ways to kind of illustrate, and I thought it was interesting. You say you learn more when you're humbled. I agree with that, you know, because it's easy whenever it's all cake and ice cream.
Exactly.
Is there? You're as good as anybody at showing us sort of how it affects itself on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, this is an episode of Todd Bowles versus Patrick Mahomes. Okay. Here's what he did. So he said, "Hey, look at us. It's Shaq Barrett, it's JPP, and Ndamukong Suh. We're coming. Lies you tell. We're going to come from the outside here. We're going to smash JPP down and bring Jamel Dean from the outside. What this does, this guy has to chip. You have to crash down. We get pressure on Patrick Mahomes now. But the smart thing is this. You say, how can we cover if a corner goes and the nickel goes? We're going to drop out Devin White. We're going to drop out Levante David. We're going to bring down Edwards, and we're going to play the outside third with Whitehead. So here's the look. We're going to come off the ball here. Now we have a free rusher outside because I told you we were going to affect the tackle. So look at what Patrick Mahomes is looking at. I have a rusher in my face here. This guy can't get a first down. This guy can't get a first down. This guy can't get a first down. Why? The first game, you saw me play man-to-man the entire game. Now we're going to rush you to pressure you, but play zone on the back end. So you have one recourse. Let's be Superman, Patrick Mahomes. He's going to step up, get outside the pocket, and you're going to say, Tyreek Hill, go do cheetah-like things. But there's a guy on the backside of him. So when he gets out, when he gets deep down the field, now Antoine Winfield is running with him. He can get his hand in his eyesight, and he drops a ball that we've seen him catch. Todd Bowles said, you know what? We've done things extremely well throughout the playoffs. We've played man-to-man. We've played single high. We're going to give you something different, Patrick Mahomes, and you're going to have to read it after the snap. We're going to make you beat us with your mind and not your body. And they won the game today.
No question. And as I mentioned in Brady's case, so often his teams have won Super Bowls where it's come down to the end. That was not the case here. But offensively, where the Chiefs are settling for field goals, the Buccaneers are getting touchdowns. And we've talked a lot throughout this year about the weapons, about Godwin, about Evans, about a number of different running backs that they've got at their disposal. But it was interesting. What was this script? Who were the people that were making the plays here?
The Bradys. Yeah. That's who it was. Listen, I call him the greatest organization of all time. He was a player, he was a coach, and he was the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before the season, what do we say? Watch Godwin, watch Brady, right? Watch Mike Evans. You didn't even hear those guys tonight. It was Rob Gronkowski. It was Antonio Brown. It was Leonard Fournette. 3 dudes. We saw that tonight.
Man, it's been so much fun, as always, getting a chance to visit with you throughout the season. I know you're staying across the street. Put it on Stanford Steve's expense account.
Oh, that's what's up.
He has a lengthy
little room service?
Yeah, whatever you want. Stanford Steve's got you covered. It's the least we can do. As always, we appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you guys, man.
Yes, indeed. To Ryan's point, these are guys that certainly weren't organizational lifetimers with the Buccaneers. The 31 points tonight come via touchdown passes from Brady to Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown, a rush by Leonard Fournette, and a field goal by Ryan Succop. In 2019, none of those 5 players were Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they all played for different teams. We welcome you to Sports Center from the nation's capital. I'm Scott Van Pelt with you for the next hour. Everything you need to know, see, and hear from the Super Bowl. Steve Young will stop by, some thoughts with us, Ryan Clark, Tim Hasselbeck, Louis Riddick, to give you some cool thing with Serena showing you a little deal, a little TikTok or whatever running around her.
Sports Center.
Hey there, welcome to this special edition of Sports Center following Super Bowl 55. I'm Michael Eaves. After 6 Super Bowl titles in New England and a legacy as the greatest quarterback and maybe greatest player of all time, Tom Brady has won yet another Super Bowl title in his very first year with the Buccaneers. 31-9 is the final as they take down the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs in a dominating performance by the Buccaneers on both sides of the football. Offensively with Brady, we'll talk about him, but also the defense be able to hold the Chiefs to just 9 points, one of the more potent offenses we've had in the league in the last several years. To get a little deeper into this, we bring in Tim Hasselbeck. And Tim, I want to dive into the X's and O's of this game and how it got to 31-9 and things of that nature. But because it is Tom Brady and because of what he accomplished in his very first year in Tampa, a team that hadn't sniffed the playoffs in quite some time, at least a legitimate chance of winning a title, here he is now. 7 championships. That's more than any other franchise in the NFL. The Steelers and the Patriots each have 6, Tim. Now Brady has 7. As you sit back and sort of absorb this, what comes to your mind?
I mean, it's just hard to even comprehend, to be honest with you. When you think about just what he's accomplished, how he came into the league, how he took over New England, to have the success in New England and the debate about whether or not it was the coach or the player, and then to do it in the year that was this year, which started with throwing and working out at local high schools and getting run off the field to get to this point. It's incredible, Michael. I mean, in some ways, there aren't really words to describe what he's accomplished.
I know people are going to be talking about this for quite some time over the next several days, as they should. But when we have a chance to experience this level of greatness, Tim, in the moment, whether it was Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James currently, now it is Tom Brady and the impact that he has, not just on franchises, but the league as a whole. And you take a look at this game in particular, a couple of guys who scored the touchdowns in this game only came to Tampa because of Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, the influence, the impact, how one player has made such a huge difference. Look, that's been reserved for other sports. That has not been something that's worked ever in football. It just hasn't. So I think when you look at what has been done this year in Tampa Bay with Brady, and then, as you say, Michael, the influence on other players, obviously a guy that caught 2 touchdown passes tonight in Rob Gronkowski, we've never seen it. We've seen people try to do things like this, but it's never had this type of result at the end.
Let's talk a little about him specifically in this game, Tim, because if you look at his performance in the box score, I mean, this was efficient. 21 for 29, 201 yards, and those 3 touchdowns. From an X's and O standpoint tonight, what did you see in Tom's game?
I think the big thing is that he was seeing it perfectly. What I mean by that was, a lot of times at the line of scrimmage, they would have packaged plays. You hear him alert to something else. The thing that Kansas City gave people a hard time with this season was their zone blitz pressures. They'd find a way to attack your pass protection and get home to the quarterback. Well, Brady did such a good job pre-snap of seeing it and getting to the right plays and getting the ball out on time that I just felt like he was kind of a step ahead of defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I think that was really probably the thing that stuck out to me the most. And so you described it as efficient, and I think the reason it was efficient is he was able to basically have the answer before the question was ever asked.
We talk about his leadership ability, but his preparation has been top-notch since he first came into this league, and this was a perfect example of how that transpired in the game tonight, Tim. The things you were mentioning, now with 7 against Super Bowl championships, the next closest quarterback is 4. So, again, just adding to that legacy of the greatest of all time. And I do want to talk about a response that the Bucs had, because they got the ball first. They went 3 and out. Chiefs go down and score 3, and all of a sudden, all right, so we're down 3-0. And then boom, 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 the Bucs just start going down the field. And that first touchdown pass to Rob Gronkowski, I thought, said quite a bit about the resiliency of Tom Brady and what that offense was going to bring in this game.
Yeah, it's a good point by you, Michael. And I think that on that drive, we have to give credit to Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians for some of the plays that were called. They end up hitting Cameron Brate on a little tight end delay screen, which ended up being a nice, pickup for them. And then you referenced the touchdown pass to Rob Gronkowski. It's actually a run pass option, not something that Tampa Bay majors in, but it was man coverage, and Gronkowski comes across the formation, and Daniel Sorensen is reading run. He basically lets him go, which is why Rob Gronkowski was so wide open. So, yes, it was Brady, but I think you do have to give credit to, the design, of the offensive plays that they ran on that drive, and then also the timing of the play calls on that drive as well.
Yeah. All right, Tim, sit tight. We got plenty more to discuss here on the special edition of SportsCenter now that the Bucs have won their 2nd Super Bowl title. And by the way, as we mentioned, this is the first time that a team hosted the Super Bowl in its home stadium So now you can add Tampa to the list of teams that have actually won it in their own city, right? A little difference between your stadium and your city, but there you see the Raiders winning in Pasadena and, of course, the 49ers as well.